Morning guys, this is check day 15 and then we set day before that, so this is the 16th day that we've been down here on this farm trapping. This morning it's cold again. Yesterday we were in the 60s, today we're in the 30s. This weather this year has been crazy. Seems like every week we're going from 60s and the highs in the 60s to highs in the 30s, but they're telling us that today later on this afternoon we're going to start getting freezing rain and sleet, and then that's going to do that all day tomorrow. So this morning the main agenda for today is to get all of our traps either pulled or tripped and left laying in spot, and then we'll be back down here later to reset them and catch a few more beaver out of here. Our trapping season ends the end of February, so all my foothold traps I'm going to go ahead and trip and pull this morning, and then the beaver trapping stays in until the end of March, or I'm sorry, yeah, the end of March. So I'll leave all those laying in place, but I'll be honest with you, I'm starting to get wore out being down here every day, every morning, checking traps, recording myself while I'm doing it, and then going home and editing the video, getting it put up on YouTube, and then having to skin animals and keep up with that. It's just starting to wear on me. So I'm gonna take this opportunity and go ahead and take a break for myself from YouTube stuff for a little bit, and that way if we do get the ice, we do get the sleet, all the roads are covered, I don't have to worry about making this 50-mile round trip every day. Just take some worries off of my plate so I can concentrate on, if we end up getting locked down at the house, I can concentrate on that. But anyway guys, I'll show you. I brought my pulling pole this morning, and I'll kind of show you guys what that is. So basically what it is it's an old stamping rod people would use to stamp the dirt around a fence post. On the bottom of it, it's just got this flat 45 piece of metal welded to it, and it's just a solid metal rod. And then I've come up here in two different places and I've welded a few links of chain in two different spots, and then I've got this carabiner that I can take and adjust, can move it from either piece of chain depending on what leverage or what type of trap I'm needing to pull. But we're going to come right over here. Right here's one of our footholds that we put. I'm just going to trip that trap, pull it up out of the mud. I'm just going to bend right down here. I'm going to take my carabiner and I'm going to put it right through that swivel where I've attached my earth anchor to that trap. Then all I have to do is twist that cable and pull that earth anchor out of the ground. So it's got that trap pulled. We're going to take that clamp off there, and guys, I try the best I can to get all this mud and stuff off of here while I'm here. Down here, this is really sticky mud. Sometimes it's just easier to leave it. When I get to the house, I can wash everything off. But basically we pulled that earth anchor out and it's reusable. So all I got to do is get home, get this trap cleaned up, and then we can put it back in the ground again. Go ahead and wrap this around it. Try to keep everything from getting tangled up as we throw it in the back of the mule. Now sometimes guys, you'll get to them, you'll pull them up and you'll end up breaking one of your connections or pulling one of your ferrules out of the cable, and sometimes you just can't pull it out no matter the might that you're putting on it and the leverage. Sometimes you just can't pull that out of the ground, and it's real easy to just take your S-tool, your J-hook or your S-hook tool, and you can just come right here on the bottom of that trap, where we've got this earth anchor extension. Using a split ring, you can just take that trap off of that extension. If you don't have a split ring on it, let's see, like this one, there's no split ring, we've just got it right to our J-hook. We can just take this J-hook tool, get right in there behind that J-hook, press these pliers, and that's going to open that J-hook up, and we can just take our trap off and leave our anchor in the ground. So stick tight, guys. I'm gonna work my way through the line, pull all of our footholds, and get our other traps tripped. All right, guys, we're down here. This where we've been catching our most productive set here by this tree, where we've caught several beaver and several raccoon. Had a catch almost every day that we've had it out here. Probably hadn't been but 2 or 3 mornings that we haven't had anything in it, and this morning's one of those mornings. But I thought I'd show you guys this cable. Our trap's still set here. What we're going to do to trip this trap, we're pulling it this morning. We're just going to raise that loose jaw up, make sure our hands are clear of all the levers. We're just going to reach in here and pull that pan down. That fires that trap. But you can still how kinked up and twisted this cable is, but it's still not frayed. And I don't remember, probably around episode or check day 9 or 10, I talked about this cable being kinked. We checked it over, didn't see any frays. I might be disappointed the next day if we made a catch, you know, something break the cable. But we made probably 4 or 5 catches on this trap since then, and hadn't had to worry about that. Didn't have to worry about that cable. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you guys and show you how much the water's risen in here. We got the big rain 2 days ago. Yesterday was okay, but this is the first morning that this road's been flooded. So I'm afraid the back part of the farm where it's been being flooded, it may be impassable this morning. But we're gonna move on up here, check our predator sets and get them pulled. All right, guys, so we made our rounds this morning. We're here at the last trap on this first section of the property we got set up. And I pulled everything around this loop. I've got everything pulled. Fixing to head over to the backside, get those traps checked, and what I'm going to do there is just trip those traps and leave them laying where they're at. And then after the weather comes through, I'll get back down here, get those reset, and then I'm going to shift everything that I had set around this loop. I'm going to shift it to a 3rd place on the property, and try to get some of those beavers out of there for them. But this is the last trap here. Get down here and get it pulled. Looks like the cable may be pulled off there. I can't really tell. The water, no, it's not. It's still sitting there, so we're just going to pull it up here. Still set. We're going to trip it. Just raise this loose jaw up, push that pan down. All right, there's our extension that we made whenever we set this trap. I'm just going to take and roll it up just like I roll up my snares. Just a small 8-10 inch loop. Twist that cable all the way up to when you get close to the end. Now at this point I'll just take what's left there, and I'm just going to wind it back and forth through that cable. And that's got that cable that'll hold in the loop until I get ready to use it again. Here's the traps that we pulled, guys. A few of these conibears up here, most of them in the milk crate, were just extra ones that weren't set. But here's all of our footholds that we had, our TS-85s and our Bridger number 5s. This is all of our foothold. traps that we had sit around the property, and then the stakes that we pulled, and of course we got our bunny, just a little bit of his ear chewed off. We'll try using him again. It may be next year, but we'll sit him back out and see what happens. But guys, don't leave your traps in this condition when you store them for the summer. Get them all laid out, wash them off, clean them up, let them dry before you store them. I'll try to do a video when I get done, get all my traps pulled. I'll try to do a video on how I clean up all my traps and store them. But right here's all my cable extensions and my snares that we pulled. Guys, I'm gonna move on down here and get this back side of this farm checked. Hopefully we can get to all of them. I think the water's gonna be a little higher than what it's been being, but we're gonna get down there and give it a go. All right guys, so I'm just continuing the rounds, tripping traps over here, leaving them laying. We're getting on back here toward the back. This is the one where we caught the two beavers in the first 2 mornings, and we haven't had any activity back here since. So I'm just gonna pull these up. I'm gonna pull it up by my trap pan, or by my anchor wire. I'm gonna get these safeties set on it. Make sure they're set good, pulled tight. I'm gonna reach my fingers in between them two jaws and trip that trigger. All right, so that trap's tripped, not gonna catch anything. I'm just gonna drop it back down in the water, leave it there, and we'll get back after all this weather and get it reset, go from there. This next stop up here is gonna be that little crossing where we put the stick through through the springs and hung it from the pallets. We'll get up here and get it checked and get it thrown. All right guys, here we are at it. It doesn't look like it's been thrown, but he's down here and just make sure. All right, so it's still set. We're gonna do the same thing here, guys. Just take this stick out of here to get those springs back enough to get the safety set. So we're just gonna be real careful. We're just gonna push those springs up, loosen them. We'll pull that stick out of there. We're gonna pull them springs back down. And then we're just gonna set both safeties on both of these springs. Make sure that they're set good. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna reach in here, hit that trigger. Then we're just gonna take it and throw it in the water here and leave it. All right, same thing here, guys. So we're gonna pull this trap up out of here. I'm going to make sure both safeties are set on both sides. Reach in there and trip that trigger. We're just going to leave that laying here in that run. I've got a stake. I use this stake to secure that trap on that corner. We're just going to leave it there also. And over here on this other side, that's where we had the conibear set at the edge of the water. And guys, that's why I anchored it up here high on this tree, because if the water come up, I can still get to my trap fairly easy. Same thing, just make sure safeties are set. Trip it. We're just going to leave it laying here for later. Now the water's up. The water's way up right here in what it's been, so I'm not gonna take a chance to drive this mule down this road. I'll have to maneuver around to the other end, see if I can get fairly close, and then I'll try to walk down there to those last couple of traps that we've got set on those drains and get those checked and tripped this morning. All right Alright guys, we're down here at the other end of this road now. Basically at the end of this water up there you can see the gravel. You can barely tell. That's where we were at with those last two sets. I didn't want to drive the mule down through here this morning. I was afraid it's just too deep. I don't want to take a chance tearing it up. So basically I've taken about a 2 or 3 mile trip all the way back around to get over here to this other side, and I am frozen to the core. My fingertips are cold, feels like my insides are freezing. So I was looking forward to getting out of that mule for a minute, taking a walk and warming the body back up. But anyway, I'm gonna walk down here to these two drains, make sure we don't have a catch in them, and get those traps thrown. On that loop back around this thing, guys, I got pretty close to my truck. I could see my truck across the field. It was all I could do not to turn and go to my truck, get the heater going, sit in it for a minute, but I didn't. There's another drain here on this ditch. We hadn't even checked it. The water hadn't been up this high in here yet. Just hadn't paid attention to get it set. But when we get back down here, we'll check on it, possibly make some sense around it. Right here is the spot where I made the catch on the crossover with the conibear. Lost my trap. The animal pulled the stake out of the ground, took off on my trap. And right over here is where this ditch was dry when I first come in here and set. Right now, guys, I'm knee deep in water walking through here. I'll be honest with you, I'm hoping I didn't make a catch this morning. It wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. But I do need to get up here and do all I can do to try to get to these sets and get them checked. I can see my flag up there to the right where that first drain is. Even though it's cold and miserable out here, guys, it's still beautiful. I mean, look out across there at flooded timber. How many people in the world today get to get out here and see something like this? As cold as I am, as much as I'm ready to be done today and get in the heat of that truck and head back to the house, I'm still thankful that I'm able to get out here and do it. Now they're saying we're gonna get a bunch of ice starting this afternoon sometime. It's gonna start sleeting and freezing rain, and all day tomorrow it's supposed to do it. And they're saying it's really gonna be comparable to the 09 ice storm that we had. There were people that were shut down for weeks and months before everything got power and everything got restored after it. So I'm hoping that's not the case. But we need to get prepared just in case it is. So we're here at the first drain now, guys. It looks like both of my cables are still loose, not pulled tight. Get over here and make sure that that's the case. Looks like there's been quite a bit of debris that was washed up here. Alright, that trap's still set. We're gonna get it thrown. I'm just gonna toss it right back here in the water. Same thing on this one. I'm gonna pull it up. This is where we made the catch yesterday. That trap's still set there. and get it thrown. I'm just gonna toss it right back here. Now, I'm not gonna worry about any of this. We'll get it cleaned back out when we get back. But alright guys, so we're just gonna ease on down here to this next one, and it'll be our last trap for the day. You can see here some beavers have pulled some debris up right there. Guys, I know there's a lot of you guys that's been tagging along with me on this journey, this YouTube journey, and you've been keeping up and watching every day with me on the last few weeks. I'm going to take a moment to thank you guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the encouragement. I'm hoping these videos are not only a little bit entertaining, but I hope that they're useful for any of you guys that are thinking about getting into trapping, getting into beaver trapping. And one of the reasons I started these videos was because when I first got into it, first decided to get back into trapping, started to try to look up information and build my knowledge base. There wasn't anything there. I could find trapping videos. There's plenty of guys out there putting trapping videos out. And I could learn. Here's a good crossover here, guys. This is one. I'm gonna keep it in my head, and we'll probably come in here and get a set put on it after the weather. But anyway, there's a lot of guys that's got material out there on trapping, and I picked up a lot of basics from those guys. Tips, tricks, things to do. But I couldn't find really any information on my area here in the Delta, Mississippi Delta, farmlands, cropland, beaver trapping on drainage ditches and flooded timber like this. So that's a big reason why I wanted to put this trap line out there every day. The good, the bad, the misses, the catches, the mistakes, the learning, all that stuff, guys. That's why I wanted to do this, and you guys have enabled me to do that, and I hope that it's beneficial to everyone. So here we are at this next drain. I'll get down here and check on it. It's got a lot of debris, almost clogged back up again. I don't believe we're gonna have it catch here. Cable's real loose. Get it pulled up, and that Duke still sit there, so we're gonna get it tripped, get it thrown off here to the side, and get this cable out of the way so they don't come in and throw a bunch of stuff on it, and head back to the mule. I don't know if you guys can see it down there, but all right, guys, so we've got everything either pulled or thrown this morning. I'm ready to head to the house now and get warmed up, back to the truck. You can see down here on this far end where the mule's at, that water, and then back this direction about as far as you can see. You can see where the gravel starts again. That's where we're at just before we come over here. I don't know if you guys can hear that pump running, pumping water or not, but we're right beside that pump. But guys, thanks again for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know how long it'll take for us to get past this weather event, but I'll be back and I'll get some more videos posted when I do. All right, guys, so just finished editing the video. I'm getting ready to post it and thought I'd throw this on the end of it. Getting the animals fed, getting the water trough heaters plugged in. But just wanted to show you guys that are up north or farther south that don't get to experience sleet and freezing rain. That's what all this is. It's got the ground covered now. It looks like snow, but it's all actually ice. But anyway, just thought some of you guys would enjoy seeing it. Don't get to experience. It's no fun. But anyway, I've got to get these water heaters plugged up. All the livestock troughs freeze over. And got these heaters in these troughs that'll keep the water from freezing. But hear the thunder in the background, that's crazy. But anyway, just thought you guys would enjoy seeing all this ice. It's not fun at all. I got the generator pulled out and went and got some fuel earlier in case we do lose power for a while. At least got that backup generator that we can plug some things into if we need to. But got all the chores done for the evening, and I'm gonna go in and stay in the house for the rest of the night.